Right, folks, it's Thursday, and while I know the boys are back in action today, I want to take a wee detour and shine a light on something that's been bubbling under the surface. We're talking about a summer signing, one that hasn't officially been unveiled just yet, but by all accounts it's practically a done deal. Could be by the time you're watching this the club's already put out the announcement. But either way, this is one that's got tongues wagging for good reason. We're chatting about Hayato Inamura, the young defender from Albirex Niigata. Now his club's already confirmed he's on the move, and everything points to Celtic Park as his next destination. So naturally I wanted to get a proper handle on who this lad actually is. What kind of player are we looking at? What's he bringing to the squad? So I got in touch with someone who knows Japanese football like the back of their hand, a data analyst who's been tracking players like Inamura for years. And let me tell you, what I found out was pretty fascinating. First things first, this isn't your typical big-name rival from the J-League. Unlike some of the other Japanese signings we've seen in recent years, Inamura's not a household name. Not yet anyway. This lad's only just stepped into the professional scene. We're talking about a player who's still in the very early stages of his career. He was playing university football not long ago and only officially turned pro 6 months back. That might sound strange to us over here, but in Japan it's actually quite normal. They've got a system that lets university or even high school players get minutes with pro clubs before they're formally signed as professionals, and Inamura made the most of that setup. He wasn't just warming the bench last season, he played significant minutes for Niigata even in high-stakes matches like the League Cup final, where he featured in every single minute. That kind of involvement, especially for someone still classed as a student, tells you there's something special about him. Now I know there's been a bit of chat about his position. Some saying he's a center back, others suggesting he might be able to slot in at left back or even in midfield. But from everything I've gathered and from watching clips myself, it's pretty clear Inamura's a left-sided center half through and through. That's where he's played almost exclusively since stepping into the pro game. Maybe he's filled in out wide in his youth, but at Niigata, he's been planted right in the heart of the defense. And that's where he seems to thrive. Tactically, he's quite the modern defender, calm on the ball, always looking for the clever pass. He doesn't just hoof it long or panic under pressure. He's one of those players who wants to get involved in the build-up, always making himself available for the next pass. That movement, the way he shifts into space before and after receiving the ball, is a big part of what makes him stand out, and he's got the vision to match. We're talking about someone who's capable of those line-breaking passes, waiting for the perfect moment to slip one through the midfield lines. He's patient, he's composed, and his technical range with the ball is impressive. One of the more interesting things is how deceptive he can be in possession. He's got a knack for shaping the pass one way only to swivel his hips and send it somewhere else. That sort of guile can really unsettle pressing teams, and if you give him a bit of space, he's got the ability to ping long diagonals across the pitch with real accuracy. He's not just tidy, he's got bite in his passing game. But it's not just the passing that sets him apart. His ability to carry the ball forward is up there with the best young defenders. Statistically, he's in the top few percent for progressive carries among center backs, which tells you just how much ground he can cover when stepping out of defense. He doesn't shy away from pressure either. In fact, he almost invites it, luring attackers and then shifting past them with a quick drop of the shoulder or a cheeky feint before surging forward into midfield. That sort of quality can completely open up a game. That said, it's not all perfect. Like any young player, there are areas that need polishing. One concern that pops up again and again is his aerial game. Quite frankly, it's not his strongest suit. His success rate in the air isn't great, and beyond just losing duels, there are moments where he doesn't even contest them. That lack of aggression in the air can be a bit of a red flag, especially in Scottish football, where physical battles are part and parcel of every match. You've got to think about the league he's coming into. The J-League, for all its technical finesse, isn't known for bruising encounters. Scotland's a different beast entirely. We've seen players come over who've got all the skill in the world, but struggle with the rough-handleable side of things. You might remember Yuki Kobayashi, another left-footed ball-playing center back who looked a class act in possession, but couldn't quite handle the physicality here. Inamura's profile does draw some comparisons, and that raises fair questions. Physically, Inamura isn't the tallest, but he's not sluggish either. He's actually quite mobile and covers ground well. He's sharp in reading the game and often cleans up loose balls with that anticipation. So while he might not dominate in the air, there's plenty of athleticism and intelligence to work with. And look, it's clear this isn't just a plug-and-play signing. He's not arriving as the finished article. He's a project, someone the coaching staff are going to need to nurture and mold. But the potential is definitely there. Left-footed center backs with composure and passing range don't grow on trees. If developed properly, he could become a real asset. Not just for Celtic, but perhaps even for the Japanese national team down the line. That's likely part of the motivation for the move too. If you look at Japan's national squad these days, it's stacked with players who ply their trade in Europe. It's not just the starters, even the backups and fringe players are based on the continent. Inamura's not had a callop at any level yet, not youth, not senior, but making the leap to Europe could put him on the radar. It's a strategic move as much as a footballing one. But just to temper expectations a wee bit, this isn't the same kind of signing as we saw with Kyogo Hadid or Maeda. Those lads came in as established stars from the J-League, already proven at the top level back home. Inamura, he's barely got his boots dirty in the top flight. There's rawness to his game and he's still very much learning. The club's clearly seen enough to believe in his upside. But fans would do well to give him time and space to develop. He's not coming in to set the world alight from day one. He's coming in to grow. And maybe that's a sign of where the market's at now. The days of picking up the best players in Japan without much competition are probably gone. European clubs are wise to the talent pool now. The likes of Hadid and Maeda, if they were coming through today, might be snapped up directly by Bundesliga sides or top teams in Belgium or France. So Celtic's shifting strategy might involve getting in a bit earlier, finding gems before they fully blossom. There's risk in that, no doubt, but there's also reward if it's done right. Inamura's not a sure thing, but he's got enough in his locker to make you believe. The ball-playing ability, the composure, the positional sense, it's all there with the right partner beside him, maybe someone who can handle the physical battles. While he focuses on the build-up play, he could really flourish. Now, beyond the excitement and potential that Hayato Inamura brings, we've got to be realistic and look at what kind of impact he's likely to have in the short term. Because let's be honest, this is a signing that feels more about tomorrow than today. He's not arriving to immediately slot into the starting 11 and transform our backline overnight. He's coming in as a developmental piece, someone the coaching staff will need to work with, build up, and gradually ease into the intensity of Scottish football. And that's important because the demands here are no joke. Every match is a battle, especially for defenders. The pitches are tighter, the pace is frantic, and the strikers are no strangers to throwing their weight about. It's not enough to be technical or tidy on the ball. You've got to be up for the fight. You've got to stand tall in the duels. When your headers clear your lines under pressure, that's where the doubts start to creep in with Inamura. We've already mentioned his struggles in the air. And that's not just a stat on a spreadsheet. It shows up in the games. He can be hesitant, he can get caught under the ball, and there are times he simply doesn't challenge with enough conviction. Now that might improve with coaching and confidence, but it's a glaring weakness in a league where set pieces and long balls are a weekly reality. Still, you can't overlook his strengths. The lad reads the game well. He's got a calmness that's rare for someone so early in their career. He's not flustered by pressing attackers, and that quality can be a real asset when building from the back. How many times have we seen center backs panic under pressure and give the ball away in dangerous areas? Inamura doesn't seem to do that. He stays composed, keeps the ball moving, and looks for clever angles to progress play. And that's why this feels like a signing driven by a clear philosophy. Celtic want to dominate the ball. They want center backs who can step into midfield, who can dictate the tempo, who can link up play rather than just boot it long. Inamura ticks those boxes. He's the kind of defender who could thrive in a possession-heavy system, provided he's got the right support around him. That support is key, because if you pair him up with another young lightweight center back, you're asking for trouble. But put him next to a physical nonsense partner who can win the aerial battles and sweep up danger, and suddenly Inamura's game looks a lot more effective. He can focus on what he does best: controlling possession, stepping into space, making those sharp, incisive passes. And let's not forget, this isn't just about club football. From Inamura's perspective, this move is probably a calculated step towards the Japan national team. These days, the international setup heavily favors players based in Europe. The domestic league in Japan just doesn't carry the same weight it once did. If you want to get noticed, you've got to be playing abroad. And not just playing, performing consistently against top-level opposition. That's what makes Celtic such an attractive stepping stone. We've got European football, big crowds, high expectations. It's a pressure cooker environment, and For a player like Inamura, it's the perfect testing ground if he can prove himself here. Even as a rotational option to start with, he'll be on the radar for international call-ups before long. Of course, patience is going to be crucial. The fans need to understand that this isn't the same type of signing as when we brought in Kilgo, or had it. Those lads were proven seasoned professionals in the J-League, already performing at a high level and attracting attention from across Europe. Inamura is still raw, still figuring it all out. He's not arrived as a finished product, he's a lump of clay waiting to be molded. And that's something we need to be honest about. If you're expecting him to come in and boss the backline, from day one you're setting yourself up for disappointment. He'll need time to adjust to the physicality, to the pace, to the demands of playing in front of a support that expects nothing less than excellence every week. There'll be mistakes, there'll be shaky moments, but if the club sticks with him and if we as supporters show a bit of patience, he might just develop into something special. What's also interesting here is the wider context, the shift in Celtic's recruitment strategy. A few years ago, we could pick up the very best talent from the J-League with little competition. Now the landscape's changed. Clubs in Germany, Belgium, even mid-table sides in France or Spain, they're all scouting Japan aggressively. They've seen the success stories. They know the value. So the elite J-League stars, they're skipping Scotland entirely, going straight to the top leagues. That means if we want to stay ahead of the curve, we've got to move earlier, take risks, spot the talent before it blows up, and that's exactly what this feels like, a calculated risk. Inamura's not fully proven, but he's shown enough glimpses to justify the gamble. It's smart business, really. Pick him up now, develop him, and if he kicks on, you've got a top defender either for your own team or to sell on for a tidy profit. Now, before we wrap up, it's worth touching on another name that's been linked with us lately. Shun Yamada from Kawasaki Frontale. He's a very different kind of player. A striker through and through, more of a fox-in-the-box type. Quick, sharp movement, always sniffing around for chances inside the penalty area. Not the tallest or the strongest, but he's got a real knack for getting on the end of things. Good with both feet, decent in the air despite his size, and he knows where the goal is. Now, he's not had the best start to the current season. A few missed chances here and there, but the movement's still there. He's still getting into the right positions, which tells you the instincts are intact. It might just be a confidence dip or a bit of bad luck. But in a team like Celtic, where you're creating bucket loads of chances every game, a poacher like Yamada could thrive. He doesn't need 10 touches or a fancy build-up. He just needs half a yard and a sniff of goal. But again, that's one to keep an eye on. The focus for now is on Inamura and what he can become. He's not the headline grabber, he's not the marquee name, but he's got the tools, he's got the temperament. And if things click, we might be looking back at this as one of those quiet signings that turned into a cornerstone. Time will tell. But for now, let's welcome the lad, give him the space to grow and see where this journey takes him. Because if there's one thing Celtic fans know how to do, it's get behind a player who gives everything for the badge, especially one with the potential to rise above expectations. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers are swirling around Parkhead this week, and they're only getting louder. Word on the street is that Celtic could be preparing to make a serious move for Serbian center-back VELJKO MILOSAVLJEVIC, a name that's already being quietly uttered in excited tones behind the scenes. Dubbed the Serbian Wall by those who've watched him dominate in his homeland, MILOSAVLJEVIC is being touted as the next big thing in European defending. The boys, it seems, may be set to part with a small fortune to bring the 21-year-old Colossus to Glasgow. While nothing has been made official, sources close to the deal suggest that the club are looking to secure his signature before interest from the continent boils over. Insiders claim talks are progressing behind closed doors. And although the Hoops hierarchy remain tight-lipped, some fans have spotted club scouts at several of MILOSAVLJEVIC's recent outings. There's a sense that Celtic are not just planning for the now, but looking to build a backline for the future, with MILOSAVLJEVIC potentially at its heart. The Serbian international, known for his imposing presence, aerial dominance, and ice-cold composure under pressure, has been attracting glances from several top sides across Europe. Yet, the rumor is that Celtic are hoping to steal a march on the competition and position themselves as the ideal stepping stone for his blossoming career. While some might raise eyebrows at the reported fee, believed to be one of the highest ever paid for a defender by the Scottish champions, Others argue that it's a necessary investment if the club is serious about European ambitions. After all, Parkhead has long yearned for a defensive titan, and the Serbian starlet could be just the man to fill that void. Of course, at this stage, it's all talk. But talk in Glasgow spreads fast, and when it comes wrapped in the green and white of a Celtic future, you can be sure the faithful will be watching this space with keen eyes and hopeful hearts. Could MILOSAVLJEVIC be the missing piece in Brendan Rodgers' puzzle? Only time and a well-placed announcement will tell. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.